finally this season has a villain. It took 6 weeks. It
No.
took
Shut
we
the
have a villain.
fuck.
We have a villain.
No.
Hey guys, welcome back to BachMakers, your favorite show that recaps all things Bachelor Nation. Before we continue with this episode, we're going to ask you very nicely, Michael, please deliver the news.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And share.
In that order, or reverse the order. It doesn't matter to us. Just do those things. Helps us. Enjoy this episode. We'll see you in the episode. Just keep watching. All right. Bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to BachMakers, presented by Good Time Media. I'm Wyatt. That's Michael. Today, we are recapping Joan week 6, Golden Bachelorette week 6, I think.
Yeah,
We're at the point where the weeks
5.
don't matter. Week numbers don't matter.
Yeah.
It's just like now it's Hometowns Fantasy Suites final. So just it doesn't matter what week it is. We are down to our final 4. Joan has whittled her golden geezers down to 4. And bear with us. This might be a shorter episode because we're filming back to back tonight because we also have Love is Blind to recap. So this episode will be out and then Love is Blind will be out on Friday. So stay tuned for that. Lots to talk about there as well. But let's get into this episode. Joan got our final 4. Mike, what'd you think of this episode? I steamrolled through this episode, by the way, because I started late.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I steamrolled through it too. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with the whole hour and a half episodes now, but I kind of love it. I guess there's less people now, so there's less, I guess, content needed. So they're making the episode shorter, hour and a half.
And
Perfect
Abbott
for
Elementary is their moneymaker, so they're like, let's just keep.
Is it?
It's won every award.
Really? I honestly thought nobody watched that show.
No, literally, it's won every. What is it?
Have you
Emmy?
seen it?
No, I haven't watched a single episode, but it wins every. I want to say Emmy.
That's actually wild because when I see the previews for it in the commercials for The Bachelor,
it's the modern day like
stupid
Office.
as hell.
It's shot like The Office and whatever, but it's every Emmy. It's like The Bear and Abbott Elementary, but. Anyways, that's beside the point.
Maybe I'll have to check it out. Maybe I'll have to check it out sometime.
Coming up next week on BachMakers, season 1 of Abbott Elementary recap.
If I ever get done catching up on the infinity amount of reality TV I have to watch,
literally,
I'll catch up to Abbott.
All right, let's Golden Geezer. Who do you got for this one?
Of the week?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to a guy that I think. Have I given it to him yet? I don't think I have. I kind of not shat on him, but thought he was a little off. I still think he's a good guy at heart, and obviously he got sent home today. So I'm gonna give it to Jonathan. He got the walkout from Joan. We'll get to that later in the episode, but I think he deserves it. He was a good presence this season, and good dude deep down.
Yes, I think established himself as a top 3 potential Golden Bachelor finisher. We can argue that, but I think the 2 that went home today are probably knocking on that door. That might be who it's between. Mark and Jonathan would be my guess.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Keith. I was like, nah. Oh, so Keith doesn't have a.
Keith
doesn't have a chance.
I literally thought 2 people went home today. I forgot about Keith. That's so mean, and I apologize,
Yeah.
Keith. You're a good dude. It just wasn't meant for you. We'll talk about him in a sec. My Golden Geezer of the week. I'm going to give it to someone who did the exact opposite of earning Golden Geezer of the week, but by doing so, wins it because finally this season has a villain. It took 6 weeks.
No.
It took we have a villain. We have a villain.
No.
It's as close to a villain as we're going to get. It's Chalk.
Stop.
Chalk is our villain.
He is not a villain.
I never thought we'd get here. I never thought.
He's just an old guy in love, bro.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not coming at Chalk here, but by definition, he is our villain.
We said what? We said Pascal 2 weeks ago because it kind of was the same thing. We're on a group date. He was a little selfish, which that could have been extrapolated or emphasized.
Dude,
or what? I don't even know, man.
I don't own it. You crushed extrapolated.
That wasn't a good word.
No, dude, we've been killing the words lately, but
we're word geezers.
Yeah. He's the villain. He's by definition the villain. I know it's a little late for a villain edit, but he got it.
No.
For like 10 minutes.
I think that's a terrible take. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's a terrible take. I don't think he's. I think he just like. I mean, shit. I think he just likes Joan and wants to be with her. And was he being selfish? And we can get to the group date later. But like, nah, he's not. He's not a villain. We love
Okay.
Chalk. You think Peyton Manning was the villain of the NFL? No, he was never the villain of
People
the
hate a
NFL.
winner. People hate a winner.
Yeah, that's why people hated Tom Brady, the real winner.
Okay.
So
All right. I
sorry.
set you up.
You set yourself
Walk
way
straight
too
into
easy.
that one. Quotes of the week. Um, this has turned into my just loving Pascal segment of the week. Pascal rocks. Not a quote, but him just standing in his underwear at the very beginning, hilarious.
Waking up this morning was actually a kind of a quiet because
He's like doing laundry, he's figuring stuff out, he's becoming a fully
Oh,
functional
man. Yeah.
human being, and I love it. And then him and Mark's little bromance has kind of been understated all season, and it really shined here. When
Yeah.
when he was tearing up, I might tear up thinking about it. He was sitting there and he said, Mark was my best friend.
I'm very sad. He was my best friend.
And that hit me. And right before that, like 5 minutes before, he's like, Mark, keep smiling. You have a beautiful smile. And just wholesome boys loving the boys. I love it. I love to see it. Pascal's just hyping everybody up. And he was so sad to see Mark go. It crushed him. It really crushed Pascal, and it crushed me as well.
Yeah, no, that was it. Mark definitely made an impact on Pascal and Charles. Remember,
Yeah.
like he was the first person to I think be close with Charles. I think one of Charles' best friends in the house too. So Mark made some good bromances in his time, but it's a good golden geezer. So
We definitely suffered from a Charles L hangover this episode too. The
yeah,
dip in energy was him and Gary.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there was just less excitement, less fun talking to producers, less wholesomeness.
Which happens at this stage of every season, I think.
Yeah.
It becomes serious. We always talk about
Mm.
there's the flip. It's like, oh, this is
Yep.
real now. This was that episode.
Of every season, I think the episode before Hometowns and Hometowns is like the worst two episodes.
It's always the dip.
Right. Now for Golden, I think Hometowns is a great episode.
Yes.
Right. It's gonna be great.
Can't wait.
So I'm gonna be missing it next week.
Oh yeah.
So, wait, no. Wait, no. I'll be here next week.
What do you mean? You'll be
2 weeks. I'll miss Fantasy Suites.
Oh, you'll be here next week?
It's 2 weeks.
Oh.
Totally forgot.
Okay, sick.
My weeks are all messed up. It's 2 weeks from now.
All right.
So Fantasy Suites.
So Mike, good. I'm glad we'll be here to
But it is the reunion of Love is Blind I will miss. Love is Blind reunion.
No, you're way off now.
Which is October 30th. Yeah. I won't be here October 30th.
I thought it was Wait.
Weddings are next week.
I thought weddings and reunion was the same.
It's not the same day.
Okay.
Weddings October 23rd, reunion 30th.
Gotcha.
So I'll be here for hometown/weddings. Which is kind of crazy. That's kind of like similar things.
Yeah. Okay,
Similar
but all things considered, you're here next week.
Yeah.
Cool.
100%.
Love that. You have any quotes from this episode?
I didn't have any specific quotes, because it's getting serious and it's not as funny. Not as funny. Yeah. But I did have like a camera shot, kind of a funny thing that I saw. So it was right at the start of the rose ceremony. The camera cuts to all the guys.
Yes.
And Jonathan had the widest stance possible. Oh my gosh. I was just like, bro, how he's like man spreading, standing up.
It's been, my golden years with, and like I truly believe that person is in this room now. And that's why each rose ceremony becomes harder and harder.
I was like, that is it even comfortable for him? I literally wrote that.
I wrote the same exact thing down. Mike, I love that you noticed that as well, because that's the first thing I saw when that cut. He was just power posing.
It was crazy. I was like, that can't be serious. And he's in his like blue suit that I think he's worn like every rose ceremony damn near.
So good. He was just, oh, I want to make another. Babe, new meme format just dropped. It's Jonathan at the rose ceremony. Just
You see him your girl's talking to this guy, what WYD or so, what, you know.
anytime someone says
Um,
act normal, it's just Jonathan. Oh, it's so good. I'm so glad you noticed that.
or like oh my friend thinks you're cute, and like
My friend over there thinks you're cute.
yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Again, what a moment. Glad you noticed that as
Yeah.
well.
That's really all.
Yeah.
That was like my only
Fair. I did enjoy. So I think this is something that more leads should do at this point. Joan making decision, hey, I'm not giving out roses during these dates.
Mm,
I
yeah.
enjoyed that. I think that's a smart call because at this point, you're in too deep. It's not as fickle of here's a rose, here's not a rose. I can't give you a rose.
Fickle.
Dude, come
Oh
on.
my
Dude,
gosh.
it's because
Dude,
I
what's
read
time?
now. It's because I read. I know words.
Oh my gosh, Poppy, man.
I'm learning.
Poppy's teaching you everything.
I don't. How do you have that copy so readily available?
Because last week I had to go get it from upstairs, so I just put it down here
For our
after.
for our podcast listeners, he just showed up or showed people we meet on vacation. The book I'm reading for the read option. That's a shameless plug. Go watch the read option if you've read that book or plan on reading it. Anyways, yeah.
And five likes, and I will spoil it right now for what. Oh,
Good thing we're not live. 2 screenshots and Mike will spoil it for me. I do like that Joan did that. No roses. I feel like that's the smart move, and then just have that rose ceremony at the end. The dates. Keith one-on-one. Give me something to talk about this one-on-one.
No.
There's nothing.
There's nothing. I mean, it was a little bit better. Like what, last week or 2 weeks ago? Remember how he had his like little time with Joan and just like absolutely shat the bed. Like, dude was just choking. He didn't do that as much this time, but it still was like kind of awkward. He wasn't really risen her up. You know, he just thought his like presence would be enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Which worked night one, right? But definitely you know, he opened up a bit to her, right? Which is fair, got a little bit deeper, but you could tell
It was
Joan
over.
wasn't, yeah. Which I'll get to my thoughts later on how everything transpired, but she knew that he wasn't gonna get a hometown by the end of that date.
Oh,
so
100%. I think America knew, and it was just all right. Let's just keep it rolling. Let's again, nothing against Keith. It just wasn't the right fit, which is fine.
Wasn't the right fit. Great guy.
Good, yeah, good dude. I don't think anyone has rode the wave of a first impression rose further than him. He rode that like he didn't do anything. The 6 weeks after
Tony Snell meme.
Keith after getting the first impression rose, and it's the stat line of zeros.
That's actually like that's.
Wait, I'm putting that on my story right now. It's a great line.
Thank you.
I'll do it later.
After
Everyone go follow me on
episode.
Instagram. I know, dude. I've been bad at live tweeting during this season, but is what it is. That's Keith's one-on-one. The group date is where most of the action happened, I think, this episode. Action. Yeah. It's the bowling date. It's with who all did we have? Pascal, Jonathan, Guy, Chalk, and Jordan. I do love watching Pascal learn things. Again, I might be his number one fan in the world, but I could watch a show where they just teach him things. Watch him learn how to do laundry, learn how to bowl. And I give him credit because he's learning things with no ego. When you're that age, you're stubborn. You're set in your ways. You're not adaptable. You don't want to learn. Pascal seems so eager and so willing to learn new things and like be bad at something, which is, I think, a very like
admirable
trait.
Yeah,
it's an admirable trait. 100%. Where like I'm willing to lay myself down and say, I don't know what this is. This is who I am. I'm self-aware enough to realize I'm not good at this or I don't know how to do this. Where a lot of people in that situation would just kind of fake it. So shout out to Pascal. I appreciate you.
Yeah. And I did think this was going to be the date where we were going to see a guy torn MCL and
Meniscus.
Just meniscus.
I think just meniscus based off his Instagram.
Okay.
I'm a little worried
Well,
it's not going to
I
happen.
don't think it's going to happen. I think your PowerPoint may be wrong, and it just doesn't happen while filming, because
I want to double
I
check.
mean, we don't have too much time left,
I know.
But
His
I
post.
thought maybe he was going to be going for a bowl and kind of maybe slips or like didn't have his knee set, and that's what happens. But
Objectively would have been
we didn't get-
hilarious.
Yes, it'd been more of hilarious if he tore it here than on the kickball day.
Agreed.
100%.
Agreed.
Without
So
a doubt.
his Instagram post of him with his torn meniscus says, "So, besides having a transformational journey during the filming of Golden Bachelorette, I take full responsibility for thinking my body is 25 years old instead of being in my golden years. My left knee required surgery for a meniscus tear. I'll be back to my old self in no time. Unfortunately, my plans to hike Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa, followed by safari in 3 weeks, will have to wait until next year." That's it.
Followed by safari in 3 weeks.
He was going to have a safari after the
Safari. Remember Joan night 1? Was like, I've always wanted to do a. Yo, did we just reality Steve it, bro?
Did we just reality Steve ourselves?
That'd be so reality Stevia of us.
Oh, that's the Steviest thing we've ever done.
Wait,
There-
that's. Then maybe he did already tear it in the kickball day, because tonight he did say like, "Oh, I've kind of been banged up."
Yeah, he
and
could have
shit,
already
like,
had
my
it.
body, and then he just like got it checked out after filming was happened, and then got the surgery or whatever. But yeah, I thought it was gonna happen this date, and it didn't happen. So.
Whoa. I think we're going to
The
come back.
safari
We're going to
thing's
come back
kinda
to this
crazy.
moment. We're going to come back to this
Yeah, I
moment
know.
and be like, wait a second.
I kind of don't want to look any more deep into it.
I don't want to either. But let's just put a tab on that one. Sorry, listeners. You saw that. That was in real time. In real time, we just realized
Yeah.
that. If we spoiled something right there, hand up.
That's on ABC producers.
Yeah.
And Joan.
And Guy.
So, and Guy. And Instagram. So
Yeah.
what's the dude's name?
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg. It's on him
Come
too.
on, Zucks.
We'll sue him.
Also during the group date, Chalk. Did you see him hit the boom?
What?
Oh,
Did he shout out?
He didn't shout
He
out
shouted
AJ.
out
Justice.
AJ Justice.
He did hit a couple booms though. He hit a ball. Boom!
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 Boom! Boom!
I did something.
The Quinn Ewers hit it.
Yeah.
After he scored a touchdown.
I did see that.
You know me as
Chalk, obviously the main antagonist of this group date, as we alluded to earlier in this episode. Before we get into that, did you notice that he would put on his glasses to bowl and then take them off? What are you?
I didn't notice.
What
that.
are you seeing better? The pins are
The pins
far away. You don't. You
exactly.
know, like,
that means he can't see them because they're far away. So that's why he puts on his glasses. Doesn't that make?
But I don't. I can't help that much. You know where the pins are. They're not moving. They're just down there.
What if it's his second bowl and he's got like 2 pins left, but without the glasses, it kind of just like.
They're not binoculars.
Okay, I don't know what glasses do really, like to a full extent. I don't know how, some people have different vision problems. I mean,
They don't have a
personally.
zoom in factor. You can't just
Calculating.
then.
Oh, it's like the Ned's Declassified cookie glasses. It's got like.
Well, Joan, here comes a 5/8 split. Like, no. So I just thought that was a funny, quirky Chalk moment. But yeah,
he
go ahead.
pulls out his glasses a lot.
He does.
Like I've been noticing that he's a big doesn't like to wear them, but pulls them out a lot.
One of those guys like, oh, like don't mind me just pulling on my glasses and
makes it a thing. Yeah, makes it a thing. Kids definitely give him shit for it.
Mm-hmm.
Calling it.
What do you think of Chalk's appearance during this group date, where he was very intentional with his time with Joan?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think he obviously meant it, because he told the camera straight up, like, I don't care what other people think. I'm doing it. So, I mean, it definitely is selfish. It's objectively selfish, right? To kind of do that. And pretty much it looked like and the producers could be edited weirdly to make it seem like he's more mean or coming across worse than he is. But he was kind of just sitting with his arm around Joan for the whole time, kind of having his own conversation with her when the other guys are bowling. That's a little messed up, right? But at the end of the day, they're all on this crazy experience of the Golden Bachelorette anyway. He's shooting his shot. I don't hate it. But he could have, been a little bit more subtle.
Yeah, I think this was a little bit, and I did claim he is the villain, which objectively I think is true at this point. He was the villain of this episode, at least.
I'll give you the group date.
Okay,
That's
fine.
it.
Villain of the
I'm not giving you.
I want a villain. A good villain makes a great season.
Just be happy, man.
Yeah.
Just accept happiness.
I know they're
man.
too wholesome.
A lot of the Golden Bachelorette fans in the comments just appreciate the wholesomeness.
Literally.
Just appreciate it, man.
I do want to point out last thing from this group date. Joan casually dropped "I love you guys" to all of them. That's like the biggest no in Bachelor history. She's like, "I love all of you." I was like, she just said it. She said it to 5 guys.
And then she's just like, as friends.
Oh, you're all going home.
I wish there was a group date, Rose.
Who would have gotten it?
Probably Chalk.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish there was. That would added to the villain thing because Chalk would have probably gotten it. And it just, I don't know, doing all the roses at the rose ceremony kind of makes the other parts of the episode seem
pointless.
Pointless or less important, or you could just send to the end. Right?
Yeah. 100%.
So
it's a good point.
I don't know. I get the one-on-one taking the roses away there, but come on.
Yeah. Then we move on to Mark's one-on-one date, which they go on the yacht. It's very fun. He was the last one.
Sick yacht.
Everyone has gotten a one-on-one date at that point. And something I realized while watching that one-on-one date, I don't have too many notes from it, but I think we downplayed how crazy it would have been if Mark won this season. To have a daughter and father go on a reality television show in one calendar year and both win and find love and get engaged, that's a dynasty. That is a dynasty that will probably never be repeated if that would have happened. That is a one-of-one thing. So I think we downplayed that a little bit. I was like, there's an Anderson dynasty loading right now. Obviously, we didn't get it, but would have been crazy. Yeah,
it would have almost been like too crazy where it would have seemed a little fake.
Yes.
Right? Some people might have seen a little fake from it, which I'll go into later of some fakeness that I absolutely see right through you producers.
On Mark's side? With Mark?
Yeah, on the whole, on how Mark, after the group date, we'll talk.
Yeah. Well, one thing I do want to say about Mark is, because we talked about it before the season, we were worried either if he wins or becomes Gold Bachelor, whatever, it's going to feel like very forced. Because it's like, all right, we get it. You're putting this guy on because he's related to Kelsey. I think because of Mark's personality and being this quiet, gentle giant, it kind of squashed all my conspiracy theories. I'm like, oh, this dude is a very genuine human being. He's honestly like not the most comfortable in this environment. Not that he was uncomfortable. I don't know kind of where I'm going here, but he wasn't like I don't know where I'm saying what I'm saying here.
A Maria.
Yeah, he's not like built for reality television. He wasn't like showy. He wasn't putting on a show. He was just genuinely there to have a fun time, experience something new, and he happened to fall in love. And I think Joan's reasoning for ending things with him is so valid, because she basically said like, "Hey, we're in different stages of accepting where we are right now." Joan was like, "Hey, I am fully ready to find this person and get engaged." And I think you could see during the group date. And Joan said it like, it wasn't me. It was this experience getting him to a point where, hey, I'm ready, which I feel like is going to lead into your argument for a producer fakeness. So please, the floor is yours. Let's just do that right now.
Yeah, because I mean, the rest of the one-on-one date wasn't that eventful.
Yeah.
They talked about their previous relationships. previous marriages, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, well, I don't know. I kind of didn't understand Joan's point for dumping Mark. That's
Really?
why. Well, no, she
Uh-oh.
she was saying that like she was kind of over her husband more than he was over his wife. That's what I
Mhm.
kind of got from it,
Kind of,
which
yeah.
I think that's kind of a wild take. One, the time difference. Mark's was 6 years ago. Hers was 3, right?
Yeah.
The time difference is. I know it probably takes guys longer to get over that for being a widow, but I mean, let's not act like every single episode she's talked about it, right? Let's not act like every single episode she's talked about her ex-husband, and rightfully so, right? It's a piece of her heart. He will always be with her. But I mean, yeah, he talked about his ex-wife and about how when she was sick and everything that with the hummingbird and everything like that, which is great, but like I don't think that he was like not over his wife and ready to move on. I think he was definitely ready to move on. He was, on the call with Joey and Kelsey last week, and he seemed ready to move on. He seemed like he was falling for her, and I don't think that was valid. That's what makes me think that like it was kind of a producer's like, hey, dump Mark before the rose ceremony. It'll be a better Bachelor edit,
Okay.
right?
Fair.
Because if she knew after that one-on-one date she wasn't gonna give him a rose, why dump him outside the rose ceremony? Because you didn't do that with Keith, and you definitely knew he wasn't going to get a rose anyway. So
Which again, Keith got jobs out of a goodbye here, both
yeah,
with
exactly.
Mark and with Jonathan, where she sat down with Jonathan and Keith just went home.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. I think I don't think Mark was that into Joan. That's my hot take. I think Mark learned and enjoyed the experience more than he loved and enjoyed Joan. Not that he doesn't like Joan at all, but I think the experience was so cathartic for him that he was enjoying that, but I don't think it was ever going to be him and Joan.
Yeah, and I agree that their chemistry wasn't like there, like on the yacht. It was kind of a little bit awkward, and yeah, he wasn't like, I guess, getting to know her too much, right? Like he wasn't. I get not like he was making it about himself, but I get her reasoning for that. But like when she was saying the whole like, pretty much, I don't think you're over her. I was like, that's wild to say when
I don't think that's
every single
really
episode
what
she's
she
brought
meant.
up her ex husband.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just like, come on, like
I see where you're coming from, but
I did in my notes. I did in my notes during the one-on-one with Keith, which I kind of regret it, but I'm not regret it. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna be transparent, play devil's advocate, whatever. I did say Joan tried not to talk about her late ex-husband challenge. Impossible.
Oh my gosh.
I
don't know how to respond to that.
Sorry. I mean, but she has every right to talk about him. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, don't send Mark home for that reason, or just be honest with him. Just be like, hey, we're not working. We're not clicking.
Yeah.
And send him home that way.
I don't know.
Because clearly a producer told you to send him home before the rose ceremony. Period.
Okay. Valid. All right. We get to the rose ceremony. Pascal gets a rose, which you would have told me 3 weeks ago that Pascal's going to hometowns. I would have said you're lying to me. Here we are. And we know we have that extra footage of him in like a hotel, them doing all that. So we figured he would survive. And then Chuck gets the rose, and then Guy gets the rose. And then if you listen to this show, we spoiled it last week because Mike spoiled it for me. I knew Jordan was getting this last rose because of you.
Hinge date. Okay. Well,
yeah. Shout out to Mike. Sure. Mike's hinge date ruined the show for me this week. So
okay,
you can expose. You want to expose her name? I'm mad at her. Okay, no, we don't have to do that. But
I actually did pottery on yesterday. You're going on a pottery date. Fun fact.
Did he
it's a great idea for a date. It's super fun. Yeah, super fun. Made a bowl.
All right. Well, tell her next on date 2. Tell her I'm mad at her.
Okay. Well, that'd be date 3, but okay.
Okay. Yeah. On date 3, tell her that your coworker is pissed at her.
Okay, yeah. I will.
Okay, thank you.
I will.
Thank you. So yeah, we figured out last week that there was a shot of Jordan in Chicago So had to be hometowns.
Well, that was just a preview, so blame ABC.
You're
For
right.
me just pointing out literally just the Chicago River, very noticeable fucking landmark.
Okay. All right, and then besides Jonathan's massive stance, he gets to say goodbye to Joan. They give him a goodbye montage that might lead to a Golden Bachelor. I would say Golden Bachelor power rankings. Mark 1A, Jonathan 1B. Either Guy or Chalk 2, Charles L 3. Just strictly because America loves him and they might just cave and say here.
I would say Mark 1, Jonathan 2A, Charles 2B.
Okay.
And 3, Jordan.
Jordan has no
Chalk.
chance. Jordan has
Jordan.
0 chance of being the Golden Bachelor.
I think he's a fun dude of what we've seen.
I agree, but we haven't seen enough.
I don't think we've seen enough of Guy.
It's fair. I don't think
so. I'd say Jordan or Chalk, not Guy or Chalk. I don't think Guy has any potential to be Golden Bachelor. Straight up.
Pascal's got 0 chance too, right?
Especially because he's recovering from a meniscus tear.
That too.
He can't climb Kilimanjaro. He can't be Golden Bachelor.
Yeah. All right. Hot seat. Wrap up here. Who do you think's going home before Fantasy Suites?
I don't know. It really looks like Jordan kind of just squeaked in there. So I feel like Chi-Town might be staying.
Yeah.
Staying in the Windy City. Well, I guess he would go back to LA for the rose ceremony, then go back. But yeah.
That sucks. That would suck so hard. I agree. I think, again, the fact that Pascal's about to make final 3 maybe is shocking. But I'm not complaining because I love
it. I kind of see it.
I don't see it between them, but I love that he's still on my screen, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
So, all right, everyone, thank you for watching or listening, and we'll see you guys next week as we talk about hometowns, which is going to be very fun. Potential special guest, so stay tuned for that, and then make sure you listen to our Love Is Blind recap, which we are about to record. So, love you guys. See you guys next week. Peace.